Cheat Code.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pickleball Cheat Code, the show for competitive pickleball players who want to level up their game. We focus on advanced strategies for experienced players, stuff only the pros really know. I'm Brodie Smith. I'm a 5.5 level player, and I'm here with my co-host, Tanner Tomasi.
Hey, everyone.
Tanner is a 6.0 level player and an APP gold medalist. Today, we're covering cheat codes to increase your DUPR. And then at the end of the episode, we're going to be discussing my latest pro event at the Montreal Open, which will be fun here in Canada. And if you like the show, leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. All right, so to set the stage here, in pickleball, it's easy to get really overwhelmed with all the different tips you see and ways to improve your game. There's advice all over the place, whether it's, different bloggers, YouTubers, people like Tanner, who knows? There's a lot out there. There's a lot of info. But going to this episode, Tanner and I came prepared with our top 5 cheat codes to increase your DUPR and or for whatever rating system that you're currently using today. So we each came prepared with our top 5 lists, and we're going to switch off as we go through these and really break it down of what are the easiest ways and best ways to help increase your rating. All right, Tanner, you locked in? You ready to roll here?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, we're going to go one at a time, and maybe we have some repeat. This is a blind list share right here. So these 5 might be the exact same, which would be kind of anticlimactic, but hopefully they're different. So I'll kick things off. Number one way to increase your DUPR, increase your rating, is simply to enter more tournaments. Even if you don't feel ready, even if you haven't been training as much as you would like to, and you don't feel necessarily ready, I think throwing your hat in the ring, and it might counterintuitively bring your rating down because you might play like shit. But point being, entering more tournaments is how you develop more experience and how you get better. And then if you're entering more tournaments over a span of a month, 6 months, a year, that's what's naturally going to increase your rating versus, just throwing in one tournament every 4 months or so, or once a year, and thinking that's all you need to do. Go after it. Play with your heart out there and really, really get out there. So that's my number one piece of advice there.
Yeah, my number one is to watch more professional film. I think it's very difficult to improve your game and get better when you're kind of like learning from ground zero, like just trying to figure it out with your friends. But when you look to outside sources, like say myself with my tips, or if you watch professional games, you can see what those players do in the exact situation that you're struggling with. Inevitably, you're going to get significantly better by doing that.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between just sitting there and watching it and just kind of having it on and not really paying attention. But if you're really paying attention to the little things that these players are doing and thinking about, hey, what if I hit that exact same shot? Or, they do things that are so different. So really making sure that you're dialing in. Is there any specific events that you think are best to watch, like MLP versus PPA versus APP, or maybe tip videos? Like where would you point people in the right direction ideally?
I think it depends on what you struggle with, what you're struggling with right now. I think you'll go through different like phases and seasons of what you struggle with in your game. Like it might be form right now, but then it might be strategy 2 months from now. So I would say really any and all of them. Like if you're struggling with pressure, that'd be a great time to watch MLP because it's heavily pressure based. Where if you're struggling with just strokes and technique and discipline, watch like Ben Johns in the PPA,
Yeah, there are certain players that are very, very, consistent with their form. Like, for example, I think I point to Tyson McGuffin a lot because he's got kind of like an old school style of play where everything's very linear. He's not doing these crazy flicks. He's not doing anything fancy at all. And that's what makes him so good and so consistent over the long run. He's got that OG style. So I think that's a really good person to go look at and watch personally that has just simple, great form, balance, and control with all of his shots, nothing over the top. So, that's something to look after too. Whereas you look at other players that maybe like Kwang Dong, who's hitting these crazy forehand drives with a really unique grip, or somebody else who's hitting nasty backhand flicks. And then somebody goes to try to do that. And it's like, oh, wait, it's not working. Just focus on the basics and the fundamentals. Going back to my last point too, I realized I didn't mention this. In regards to entering more tournaments as well, don't sandbag. Sandbagging's for losers. Don't do that. Always play, if anything, play at your level, the bare minimum or higher. If you're going to go play a higher level and lose, that's great. It's going to help you get better faster. I just had to point that out one more time real quick. I don't know if you ever sandbagged in the past, Tanner, but
no, I always played off.
always got to play up. You
I
always
never
play up.
understood that. I mean, you would hear people like, especially older people or whatever, like this was my thought process, or people my age, like, oh, like when I was a 4-0, like, oh, they're playing down, they're sandbagging, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I always want to enter. I want to play the best people. Like I always
100%.
want the best comp because I want to get better. I don't care about winning a 4-0, a 4-5. I want to get better, you know?
I could not agree more. It's like, it's fun getting the hardware and stuff, but at the end of the day, if I'm going to go win a 4-5 or a 5-0 tournament versus maybe getting my ass kicked in a pro tournament, I'd much rather get my ass kicked at a higher level. So love that.
Yeah, and I don't want what I said taken out of context. Obviously, like if you're very recreational, whatever, like it's great to still win medals. But I'm saying for me, like I always wanted to be a pro, pursue pro. If it was just a hobby, I had another job. I'm fine with getting a 4-0 because that is a big,
Oh, that's absolutely, yeah, well said. Okay, number 2 on my list. Don't settle for a partner that you don't fully trust. You have to, like I said, we're going to want to enter a lot of tournaments and we're going to want to stick our neck out there and play in a lot of events. But if you don't have confidence in your partner and you don't feel like they're the same level as you or better, you're probably not going to do well. Like maybe they're a good friend of yours and you want to run it with them. That's fun. Sure, go ahead. That's a good time. Like there's nothing wrong with doing that. But it's going to be counterintuitive. It's not going to help you increase your rating at all. That's somebody that the other team's going to pick on. You're only as good as your worst player. So making sure that you're finding somebody that's experienced out there and somebody that you can just trust in the court to hit those consistent shots. They're not going to be all over the place. And then, somebody you can rely on during the day. That's big for me.
Yeah, no, totally. My number 2 is to try and practice with people that are higher level than you. If you're the best one in your group, I know this doesn't directly increase your DUPR, but this just gets you better, which indirectly increases your DUPR.
100%.
Yeah, so if you're practicing and you're the best one and you're just looking at you have the same looks, you're exposed to the same stuff all the time, you're not going to get better. I know for me, the way I like to practice, I like to play with a variety of different people, which ultimately raises my DUPR. And the people that I like playing with the best are people that are very tricky and like to just speed up a lot, where in an actual tournament, it's probably not going to work and very ineffective. But for practice, I like just seeing those different looks.
For sure.
And if they say crazy big windups, deception, fake outs, I want to be exposed to that. So when I'm in the actual game, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I also like having on the flip side too. I mean, I think that's the most important, but having somebody that doesn't miss a ball that you drill with. I did a lot of drilling with Lindsay Newman when I was in Arizona, and she just doesn't miss a reset or a dink. And it was so good just to have those constant, consistent reps.
Right.
So it's nice to have that too versus, but obviously the chaos is the best to get ready for. So that way, no matter what comes at you in a tournament, you've seen all the looks. Okay. My number 3, here we go, is go heavier than you're normally used to on your serves and your returns. And there's a lot of different ways to practice that. We talked about drilling and training that in a different episode. One of the biggest pieces of advice is training some singles to work on that more too, because in singles, you're really forced to go heavy on your serve and returns. But when it comes tournament time and you're playing a little more risky with your serve and your return and you're going really heavy and really deep, it leads to free points. I mean, you can get an extra 2 or 3 free points, quote unquote, per match if you really are aggressive on that. It's going to lead to obviously missed returns, pop-ups for an easy drive, and it's just going to put so much pressure on them and really give you a huge advantage in a match. So that's something you just can't overlook, because when people just hit those soft serves, it's just like it's just too easy to handle. I can return those all day long.
Right. My number 3 is to prioritize consistency as your base strategy. You don't ever want to beat yourself. There's so many times where people will they'll get close to the end of the game and then they go for a lob, they go for a speed up. Make your strategy, make your opponents beat you. Do not give the game away. That is the best skill or attribute you can have, is that you won't, like when people are talking about you, like talking about your game, you want them to say, yeah, he won't give you the game. You have to earn it. That is it. On the flip side, you could be like, oh yeah, like just stay in there and like he'll make a mistake, he'll do something stupid. You want to be on the other side of that.
100%. Yeah. If you're that guy that's just like, you can't be relied on and there's no consistency on your end, like you're going to get attacked. But there's nothing worse than going against somebody that they're just not going to miss a ball. It stresses me out. I feel like that's kind of you. I feel like that's your style. That's why you said that, right?
Yeah.
You're Mr. Consistent. And going off that, to build that consistency, my number 4 is probably the most obvious of all of these, is just simply finding a way to increase your weekly drill time. So whatever that needs to be done, maybe you're drilling an hour a week, 3 sessions a month, or maybe 3 hours a week, whatever you're at right now, bump that up. That will increase your rating no matter what you do. So making sure you're setting up a goal, tracking your progress, maybe getting a printable calendar and writing down every single time you drill. There's a lot of apps you can download to track your drill time as well. That's not specific to pickleball. It's more of just like a habit tracker. So there's different ways to do that. So making sure you're planning your week in advance, starting a group chat to make, like, with people that just want to drill. That's really important too. It's really easy to find games, but if you just start a group chat with 5 people and you're like, hey, Monday, 1 p.m., who wants to drill? First one that responds, boom, you're in. Create that group chat, find other people that want to get better. I mean, what are you doing to find more drill time, Tanner? I mean, do you have a group chat as well? Like, what's your setup for that right now?
Yeah, funny, like kind of like what you said. There's not a group chat, but yeah, I guess so. We'll have like a chat just with like 5 or 6 of us. Just anybody want to play? First 4 people that play. Anybody want to do drills? Whoever's around. Stuff like that. Yeah, I try to make it a weekly thing as opposed to like an every Monday thing. Yeah.
I was about to say, I called it 5, 6 people. Just get that right amount of people. Because if you have a group chat of 4 people and you want to run games, one person can't do it, you're screwed. So Find the people, create the schedule, get after it. Okay. Go ahead. Your next one.
My number 4 is partner chemistry. If your which is similar to what you said a little bit, don't do a tournament if you don't trust your partner. But my idea is if you're playing, or if you're playing with a partner, and even if you guys are weaker, let's just say, for example, here, let's say that we're 4 or 5 DUPRs, me and my partner, but we play together every day for the past 2 months, whatever, and we're playing against 2 5-0s. You just so we understand it. Playing against 2 5-0s, first time partnership, blind date. I'm convinced that the 4.5s have a chance of beating, obviously maybe not that extreme, but they have a chance of beating the 5-0s simply because they know each other's shots. I know that when my partner does this motion, like he jerks his shoulder like this, he's going to be more likely, or he's going to speed up and I'm there to cover. Whereas if I'm playing with a partner that I don't know, he does that motion, he speeds up, oh shoot, and now I have to be ready. So I think chemistry is huge.
That's very, very key. And then
what do you think of my list so far, Brodie? What would you rate?
I'm well, we haven't rounded it out yet. Once we get to number 5, I'll give you my rating of your list. It's a good list so far. I'm a fan. I think mine's a little bit better, but we'll let comments decide. Didn't know this was a competition. Thought this was a friendly list sharing thing here, but okay, we'll make it a competition. What I was going to say too is knowing your partner too, if they're going to be a rock and you know that they're not going to miss a dink too, that helps you so much to maybe you want to create offense from there, knowing that they're not going to miss their counters, going off what you said. But yeah, that's perfectly well said. Number 5 for me, don't care too much about your rating. And I know this episode's about increasing your rating, but I think if you get so in the weeds of wanting your rating to go up and just being super type A about it and anal about your rating and telling everyone about it and making it like your personality, I think it's that goes against what you're trying to build. I think you need to be more relaxed. I understand the algorithm that, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. So don't be afraid to lose. Don't overthink. And do you see what I'm saying, Tanner? Do you see what I'm getting at? I mean, can you help me explain what I'm saying better? Because I feel like I'm not explaining it well.
Yeah, it's funny when people are lower level players like 3-5, 4-0, especially at local clubs, the listeners, I'm sure this is all about it. When you're at the local clubs, people at that level, 3-0, 3-5, 4-5, 4-0, they care so much about the rating. That's it's like a pickleball hierarchy that it just like it creates divide and gossip and this and that drama, especially amongst like older players. It's just not, it doesn't really mean anything. Like the rating is very it's not
very subjective.
Yeah.
I mean, mine says like 5-5 or whatever, but somebody could be a 5-2 and be way better than me. So like it doesn't matter. It's a generalized number.
Get better yourself.
Just get better yourself. And I know it's going against what we're talking about in general here, but when you care too much about it, it's going to make you, like I said, it'll probably make you want to play less tournaments because maybe you like where your rating's at right now. I feel like it just makes you play worse. If you care so much about it, you're probably going to play worse. If you don't care as much about it, you'll be more relaxed on the court. I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
My number 5. Oh,
no, that's it. Go 5.
My number 5 is to understand the why. It'll make you basically be a better decision maker, in the sense of like, I'll have people ask me like, or I'll have people like say to me, I'm like coaching them, and then they'll drive the third shot when they should have dropped it, or vice versa. And I'm like, well, why did you do that? Well, I don't know. The ball was coming and I just did it. The reason that you want to understand the why is because it'll shorten the connections in your brain. Like, it will just immediately allow you to decision make accurately quicker. An example is I was like on my live stream. I don't know when this is going to air, but I basically live streamed my gold medal match on YouTube and did a match breakdown live. People could ask me questions. And there was one where I went to hit a third shot drive and I saw my opponent was stepping way over to cover his partner in the middle. So I drove it behind him. So he was like fading toward the middle, but I went behind him. So he had to reach way over to his forehand, and I ended up catching him. And somebody in the chat was like, well, why did you drive it there? And I was like, well, because I saw him moving over. So that told me in my brain, I didn't think like, oh, drive it there because he's stepping over. I just went and knew from his body language that gap was open. And that's because I understand why I wanted to drive it there, as opposed to like, oh, here we go. Let's launch it. You know?
Let's see what happens. Right. Yeah, that's good. And then when things aren't going your way and, you're missing these shots, calmly in the match, ask yourself, like, why did that work the way it did? Why didn't it work? And don't apply too much judgment with yourself and overthink ththings. But I think that's really important, is asking those questions and, really understanding the differences of what's working and what's not. Because that's what helps you self-coach yourself. That's why some players get way better, way faster than others. It's because they're able to coach themselves throughout a match, throughout drilling, throughout training. So that's how I look at it. Cool. Do you have any bonus cheat codes? I have a couple just for fun on my list here.
I didn't have any, but let me hear yours and I'll.
All right. My bonus cheat codes. My first one is that if you're playing in a 3.5 event or lower, I think your only focus should be to not miss. Nothing else. Don't miss the ball. We've talked about this before, but that's where consistency is the most important. And as you get closer to 4.0, 4.5, 5.0, there's, you're going to have to find ways to apply more pressure and be a little more unique and a little fancier. But around that level, I think your only focus should just be not missing and, applying pressure by being consistent. Another bonus was filming your matches, which I don't do enough because I don't know why. I think I'm just lazy to set up the camera and I just want to have fun and go straight into the match. But I need to be filming more of my matches, because whenever I do, I'm able to go see what I'm doing right away and just be like, okay, Brodie, what a stupid shot. Why would I do that? And then it's going to help me self-coach myself next time I play. Because I can go look at the courts all day long and be like, God, what a shitty dink. And then I think I'm so much better. And then I go watch myself. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm doing exactly what they're doing. So film yourself, humble yourself. You'll be able to tell really easily what you're doing well and what you're not doing well, especially from like a footwork perspective, balance, little things like that. And then the last bonus I had was finding a good coach. That helped me out a ton early on when I was 3.5, 4.0 starting out. I found a great coach who helped me get quickly to a 5.0 in, a matter of a couple of years. I mean, I don't know if that's quick or not. Maybe for me, it felt quick, but it's a long time. It takes a long time to level up your game, but finding a good coach to work with is super, super important. Did you find a coach early on? Like, how did you develop your game so quickly? Or was that all Tanner, just all you?
I just watched the pros in person online and was just obsessed with it. And then just tried my best to just replicate it, steal something from everybody's game and then create my own.
Hell yeah. So no coaching? You didn't even get any lessons ever?
No, I would just have people like critique or just like give me tips while we're drilling, Just
playing with high level players.
And just by people that are further along, but I've never like actually hired a coach.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
my whole goal with Tanner Pickleball is to make it so people don't have to pay for a coach, free lessons,
Yeah. That's smart. That's why you're the man that you are today. Okay. Last thing. Well, I guess to rate your list, I'll give it a 5-star. That's a great list. I think you crushed it. Well done. But speaking of ratings, the last thing I wanted to talk about here was, did you see the recent update to DUPR's algorithm while we're chatting about increasing your DUPR?
No.
You didn't?
No. What is it?
What? All right. Well, I'll break it down for you. So they went back to the old DUPR where let's say So you have a higher rating than me. Let's say you beat me 11-9, 11-9 in singles. We'll just make it simple.
Yours still raises?
Mine will go up and yours will probably go down. Exactly. So it's back to that now, and it's causing drama and discourse all over the place. And I think it's really funny. There's been a lot of juicy gossip all over, not gossip, but more of like arguments and fights on Instagram where DUPR's getting in the comments, and it's really interesting, but I don't know if you had a take on it. I've thought about it for a while, and for me personally, I think it makes sense. I know it sucks in the situation where you win and you find a way to win because you are the better player and your rating can still go down. Like, I get that situation sucks, but I don't think people realize that it's a mass collection of data and information that goes into it. And it's all comes down to statistics. So there's going to be times too, on the flip side, where I'll play a really good team. Maybe I go against Ben Johns in the first round and I get lucky by qualifying and, and I get in there and I get my ass kicked 0-11. That's the way it probably will be. And the ratings will reflect that accordingly. So it'll just vary. And in the long run, I think people are looking at it at a granular match by match instance, but I don't think people are understanding it from like a whole year's worth of data, how that reflects to an accurate rating. But that's just me. We'll see what happens.
That makes sense.
You probably don't even care, do you? You're just like,
I don't care too much because the APP, they're partnered with UTR, so it doesn't even go into DUPR. My thing's been a 5.975 for like 6 months.
What's the UTR?
I have no clue. I don't even know how UTR. I don't even know the number on there.
You just go win medals and go home and just chill.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say my thing's probably like a 6.15 or something, 6.2 at the high end, but no higher than that. I don't know. I wish it went in. It doesn't make sense, but whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting.
If it went in, I feel like I'd be more involved, but since it doesn't go in, my DUPR is going to stay the same forever.
Are you going to be doing any PPA soon to have that?
I don't think soon. If there's any in Florida, I'll play them, but like just I don't
local.
think. Yeah.
What about like money balls and stuff? Are there any of those around you that will go into?
They don't go in though. Nobody like tracks them or anything. We just throw it together. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them do. Some of them don't. I feel like most don't though, but that's interesting. Well, to wrap up the episode, I wanted to discuss my recent outing. I'm in Canada right now for a few months, which is super exciting. I'm hanging out in Quebec, having a great time. So I went to do the Montreal Open this last weekend here. So it was a pro event, only 9 teams, some of the best teams in Canada. I got my fellow carbon athlete, Jack Sahid, if you know him, who's a beast. He's only 16 and he's just killing it. He's got such a bright future. He's already so damn good. Anyway, we go out there. I'm so pumped. We are warming up and all of a sudden I'm realizing how damn hot it is outside. It's like 89 degrees, which I know is not that hot, but the humidity was close to 90%. Montreal up here, it's in the Northeast, think, New York in that area. So it gets really humid. I don't know why. It just kicked my ass that day. I played one match. I got heat exhaustion. We won our first match. I was barely able to play the match. And then I had to retire. And I felt so bad. I don't get it, Tanner. I've played in humid environments before. I don't know what the hell happened, but I went full baby mode and I had to bow out. I felt bad for my partner. We only had to win 2 more matches to win the whole tournament and get cash too. That's it. And I think, who knows? I think we would have done it.
Did you pay your partner's entry fee?
I offered to, and him and his dad are so nice. They, of course, I initially offered that right away. I felt I made the right decision at least. Like, I know I couldn't have played another minute. Like I know I couldn't have. Yeah. So that was my recent event. I like how we recently talked about you and your whole APP gold run. And then now we just talk about me going to Canada and getting almost dying after playing one match.
That's funny. At least you're here now though.
I'm alive. I thought I was going to die.
Right.
I almost went to the hospital, but, yeah, at least I'm undefeated internationally. I went 1-0 on the day. So that was my first international tournament. So super exciting. So really great day. Go team.
Love it.
Okay. That's all I got, Tanner. Much love. Great time. I'll see you next time.
Sir, see ya.
Bye-bye.